They shouldn't. If it wasn't for the fact that they move around so much and not stay in one place too long, someone would have swept them away by now.
And I take it there's a point to all of this.
I know something of the living dead, young women working the streets in their pimps. When you're around the same people every day, you don't notice change right away, but then all of a sudden, someone is fat or old or without hope. The purpose of all this, Martin, is to show you the hopeless and to let you know that that number is growing every day.
Do you have a solution?
Unity.
I've never been against that.
Your unity is sitting around the campfire while the cross is burning, singing, "We shall overcome." If you were really for unity, you would sing, "We shall come over." Every time there's an injustice, we shall come over. Every time a black woman is frightened by a white face behind a white hood, we shall come over. Every time and any time there's a need to stop white people from persecuting black people, we shall come over. And we will stay until black people feel safe again.
We also say, ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
It don't matter what the song is, Reverend. Nobody's ever won their freedom singing. Now, on the other hand, if you want to do some swinging,
Violence and revenge. Is that the unity that you seek?
I seek survival, Martin. I care about the quality of that survival. No, I don't seek violence. I seek to stop it by any means necessary. I have that as a duty.
Violence never stops violence, Malcolm.
But marches do. All those people gathered together singing. What that get you? Some legislation?
Yes. Birmingham gave us the Civil Rights Bill. Selma is going to give us the Voters' Rights legislation. Every time we can expose hatred to the world, we come that much closer to making this country live up to what it says on paper.
Did that legislation help those civil rights workers murdered in the South? Or those young children bombed in their own church? You got nothing, Martin, but some empty promises on a piece of paper that betrays yet another lie in a long list of lies. The American lie. The great white lie. You know, I had a dream tonight.
Oh?
I'm sorry, that's your line.
You may borrow it if you choose.
In this dream I had, we've been dead for some time. The time it takes to miseducate the average American. Young black men and women didn't know who we were. They knew nothing about the movement or the struggle. It was as if it never happened. I woke up in a cold sweat, shaking and confused. Martin, I've seen my death countless nights, but that vision was never as frightening as that dream. We will be sold out, you and I. It might happen over the promise for a job or to be supported as the new leader. It can happen any number of ways, but it will happen. You may even do it to yourself.
And just, how do you think I'll accomplish my own undermining?
We will meet your capacity to inflict suffering with our capacity to endure. We will meet your physical force with soul force. Do to us what you will. Threaten our children, and we will still love you. Come into our home in the midnight hour of life and take us out on some desolate highway and beat us and leave us there, and we will still love you. Say we aren't worthy of integration, that we are too low or too immoral or too degraded, and we will still love you. Come by our homes, bomb our churches in the mornings, if you please, and we will still love you. We will wear you down with our capacity to suffer. Did you say that, Martin?
You know I said it, and furthermore, you know the context.
The context. Context has got to be insanity.
Is love insane?
No, but we aren't talking about love.
Then perhaps you need to read it again.
Try not to inflict suffering on myself more than once. Perhaps my capacity for that isn't as great as yours.
You are not before the cameras now, Malcolm. You have an audience of one, and I am not cheering for you, so you can stop with the sarcasm and flippant remarks.
I don't want any audience, and I don't need any cameras.
I did not come into debate you, so you can stop the contest.
The contest is more than a debate, Doctor.
Are you satisfied?
I wish it were that easy, Doctor.
Why is it that every time you say the words doctor or reverend, I get the distinct impression that I should somehow feel insulted?
Perhaps it's my street accent, not having had the advantage of university training. Perhaps my words can seem rather harsh.
You're being modest, Malcolm. It is doubtful that Harvard invites someone to come lecture who has difficulty being understood.
They didn't have me there to lecture. They had me there to be embarrassed. But since I don't embarrass easily, I saw no reason for Harvard, which had nothing I wanted, to apologize for not having. But they did have an ample amount of Negroes there, with an abundance of apologies all saved up for just such an occasion.
And you see me as one of those types of Negroes.
No. But I see you being used by white folks, whether you intended to be or not. That's why they'll build monuments to you before you're through.
I don't know, Malcolm. It seems to me mentioning of your name is likely to cause a great deal of attention, while they may even name whole cities after you.
You got the award, Martin.
Yes, on behalf of all of us, for people everywhere who fought against injustice.
White people gave you the award, Martin. Doesn't it seem strange to you that the people that are doing most of the oppressing are giving out all the awards? I bet you impressed them most when you said, if blood must flow on the streets, let it be ours. Heck, I bet every cracker in the South would have chipped in to buy you an award for that one.
The award was for peace, Malcolm.
No, Doctor. The award was for getting beaten and not fighting back.
I did not expect acceptance from you, but understanding would be sufficient.
You want me to understand how a black man could ask his own people to be the first, the last, and the only ones to bleed, to give their precious blood to be spilled on the pavement of these streets or soaked into the soil of this nation, a nation we helped build. You want me to understand that?
Did it ever occur to you that perhaps you are more responsible than I for the blood of our people flowing, that your speech is unwittingly causing violence?
No, not once, not ever. Aggression in the name of self-defense is not violence, it's honor. We got to learn to do for ourselves and think for ourselves and not let the man shape our values for us, because he's got some tricky logic. He'll have you thinking that defending your family is wrong, that defending your community is violence. If the music is a tango, you tango, simple as that. You don't want me to tango, stop playing the music. Then maybe we can waltz nice and polite like with white gloves and black ties.
Don't you think we've made any progress, Malcolm?
Progress, Martin. You got some concessions thrown your way because I was the alternative. They threw some legislation, some money, and some cracker control programs your way in hopes that nonviolence win out. Except we were the only ones being nonviolent. If they kill me first, Martin, you'll have nothing to negotiate with. And if they kill you, they can't let me live. They'll make you a martyr, Martin. They'll hold your nonviolent movement up as a testament to your courage. And if they hold it up long enough, people won't notice the contradiction. And but you were killed preaching. We can't learn anything from martyrs, Martin.
Jesus was a martyr.
2,000 years ago, it was possible to die and not kill a movement. But today it's flashed across the big screen and small, all with one clear, unrelenting message. When you lead, you die. When you lead, you die. How much longer are we going to continue teaching that to our children?
I have no martyr complex, Malcolm. I want to live a long life. I want to see my children grow up. I want to do all the things that a father is supposed to do. But if I must die so that my children don't face a spiritual death, so that this country is forced to face its own injustice, then I'll do that. Jesus gave this movement of spirit 2,000 years ago. Gandhi gave it a method. Today, black folk in this nation will forge that spirit together with that method and create a weapon of love. We will live as brothers, Malcolm, but we most certainly